Buongiorno everyone, welcome back to the Magpie Channel TV and welcome Anthony Gordon to Newcastle. Yes, the young Scouser arrived on Tyneside this morning. He's been here since around 8 a.m, got out of his hotel. He was actually here last night. He got out of his hotel and got to the training ground this morning, early hours of this morning. It's nearly 12 o'clock here now. He's currently at the stadium. He's at the stadium now, so you'll be getting other bits and pieces done, signing, finalising things, getting the usual shots, holding up the shirt at St James's Park, that sort of thing. So medical completed, so far so good. The first part of it at the training ground this morning. Currently at the stadium finalising things. So it's happening, people. Whether you like it or not, it is happening. Anthony Gordon is signing for Newcastle United. It's a £40 million upfront deal. And unlike a lot of Newcastle's other payments, transfers that we've done in the past, the likes of Nick Pope even, was 10-12 million spread across £2-3 million payments. Do you know what I mean? Sven Botman, staggered payments. These sort of things have been the case, and that's what we are trying to do, and that's how we combat FFP. But with this one, Everton wouldn't resist, wouldn't go against it. So we've had to pay £40 million up front, lump sum. So it's a big lump sum, that mind, big lump sum doing that all at once, plus £5 million in bonuses. So yeah, it's people are saying, we're wasting money here. It's a lot of money on Gordon. I don't really think it is, to be honest with you. Because Gordon's 21 years old, bags of potential, loads of his best years ahead of him. His future looks bright. If you're 40 million on a 21-year-old, English as well, so you're paying the English tax. I don't think it's that much because, listen, we've just sold a 31-year-old striker in Chris Wood for 15 million. So just over double that, you've got Gordon and a little bit extra. Do you know what I mean? So for a young winger who could easily live up to that potential, easily be worth way more than that. And you've got to remember, the market's mental, man. The transfer market is insane. Look at Mudryk going to Chelsea for 90 million. He's a young Ukrainian winger who's had one good season. A few good Champions League appearances, and he's going for 90 million. It's bonkers, man. And look at Caicedo from Brighton. They signed him for a few million. Arsenal are getting £60 million bids rejected for him. One good season. So, it doesn't take much to get an inflated market these days, does it? It really doesn't take much. So, Gordon, for me, let's hope we can kick on. Let's hope we can do well. I mean, I think Newcastle will probably announce this one on Monday. They could announce it tonight. It will be wrapped up this afternoon. It'll be wrapped up by 5 p.m. today, you would have thought. So they could, if they wanted to, announce it on a Saturday night. But they could just let the excitement grow and build over the weekend. And then on Monday, hit you with that. And then you've got Tuesday, transfer deadline day, where they probably won't be bringing in another big signing. There's talks of obviously Harrison Ashby, the young right back from West Ham, the young Scottish right back from West Ham. He's heavily linked. We actually had a bid turned down for him earlier in the transfer window. Also a player we tried to sign last deadline day. So you could see some movement on that. Now his contract expires in the summer at West Ham United, so I think we will sign Harrison Ashby. I'd love to see these James Maddison rumours come true. Apparently a concrete offer for Maddison was put in yesterday by a Premier League club. I'd be surprised if we end up splashing a lot more cash in the remainder of this window. Now that we've got Gordon, I would love it, obviously. Maddison would be my number one target, way ahead of Gordon, way ahead of anyone else. Really hope that one happens in the summer. I could see it happening in the summer. And for me, I'm still wanting that number 6. I still want that extra midfielder. Now, obviously, with Gordon coming in, we can drop Joe Linton or Joe Willock, who was playing as a left forward, into that midfield 3. But you've still got Shelby come back from his injury, the midfield there with Longstaff and stuff. There's still some improvement needed there in that midfield area. So I hope we're not short there, especially if we're getting injury to Bruno. I'd be very worried. So I would have loved that number 6 to come in, Alvarez from Ajax, Tielemans, even the Varela from Boca Juniors. There's plenty of options out there. Now, I will end this window a little bit disappointed if Gordon's the only big signing, to be honest with you, because I think being in the top 4, we will never get a bigger chance to stay there, to break into that top 4. And I think if we had strengthened a bit more, we might have got there. But let's wait and see, because it depends on injuries and stuff, But I guess with Gordon being on the left, if we keep St. Maximin, he can be on the left. So we've got options there, which allows the likes of Julian just to stay in midfield. I still would have wanted a bit more, though, in that midfield area, to be honest with you. But it is January. It is a tougher window, apparently. So we'll wait and see. And we'll give a good roundup of the window after the deadline day, depending on what happens. But Gordon is the major signing of this window, the first signing of this window for Newcastle so far. 40 million plus 5 million add-on. So it's going to be 45 million for the young Scouse winger. 21 years old. And listen, I put a tweet out before saying I've got complete faith in Gordon. and more so complete faith in Eddie Howe that this one will work out. I trust Eddie Howe, Dan Ashraf, and the club that there's a reason we're signing Gordon. Homegrown talent. You know, he's a homegrown player. He's under 21, so he comes into that 25-man Premier League squad without having to take anybody out of it. So you've got that to think about as well. He's one of the fastest players in the league, second fastest in the league now behind Mudryk. Very direct, intensity. He'll play on intensity, he'll graft, he'll chase down, he'll press. Just needs to work on that final third. And so what I linked to in the tweet was Almiron. Loads of fans gave up on Almiron, myself included, questioning his ability. His finishing isn't good enough. What was it, 1 goal in 40 games? And then he scored, 8 in a row, whatever it was, you know. So, and that's down to him, Almiron himself, working hard, but also massively down to the likes of Howe and Tyndall working with him on the training ground. So I've got full belief that we can do that with Anthony Gordon. If we can do it with Miguel Almiron, I think we can do it with England's under 21 international Anthony Gordon. He puts his mind to it. Listen, all these rumours about his attitude and stuff, we'll wait and see. We'll wait and see if that's true. But I think he'll bring a lot of passion to the team, a lot of pace, and I'm excited for it. I'm fully behind it now, fully behind Anthony Gordon. So let me know in the comments below what you think of Newcastle signing Anthony Gordon for £45 million in total. Ashby looks like he could be coming as well, young right back. Bit of a understudy to Kieran Trippier, who signed a new contract until the summer of 2025 last night. Bruno Guimaraes looks to be on the verge of signing a new contract as well. Players that could depart quickly before the window closes in a couple of days' time. Fraser, I think Ryan Fraser will leave probably to a Southampton or, you know, a team down there because he wants to go back home. Howe hasn't been picking him in case he picks up an injury and that stops his move. Gets his wages off the bill, off the books. Darlow's going to join Hull, as I've said already. And you've got the likes of Matt Ritchie not just sitting there doing now. They may as well just let him go. Let Matt Ritchie go as well. His time is up for me. Brilliant servant over the years, but let him leave as well. If he wants to be close to his family, he's getting on a bit now. He's not going to get a game. We're out the FA Cup, which was the last time he played, and the first time he played in a while. Yeah, I would say those players would leave. And question marks over would we accept a big money offer for an Alan St. Maximin or something? Hopefully not in these last few minutes in the window, because I don't think we've got enough strength and depth for that, unless we then could go and use the maxi money to get that midfielder, or a Madison. Will there be late drama in the window? If there is, this is the place to be for it, okay? So press that bell, subscribe, like this video, drop your comments below, and I'll see you on the next one.